The battle for Uttar Pradesh is clearly the next big political acid test. The BJP needs a win to shore up its Lok Sabha results, where it won as much as 71 out of 80 seats. For the Congress, winning the cowbelt is necessary for itself to stay politically relevant. The stakes are equally high for the Samajwadi Party and the Bahujan Samaj Party. So this week in Cover Story, we take a look at Battleground Uttar Pradesh. The sitting Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav doesn't just have an anti-incumbency problem, he also has a credibility problem. For it is a well-known fact that he functions as a remote control for his father, Mulayam Singh Yadav. Although he came to power waving an Apple iPad, promising change and new rules of engagement, he soon lost the plot and ceded control to his father and his uncles. The first glimpse of this was during the swearing-in itself, when SP goons trashed the stage, uprooted the mics the minute the swearing-in got over. In fact, the headlines of the Jumbo SP cabinet was not development or governance, but the fact that he had sworn in the notorious Raja Bhaiya as a minister. This was indication enough that this was not a new age Akhilesh Yadav ministry, but a Mulayam Singh redux.
But if you want to keep it within the family, he certainly was a better choice than Mulayam. But he hasn't been given a free hand, it's very clear. Mulayam and his uncles have been interfering, and Akhilesh has simply not been able to deliver on the promise, and there is huge disappointment across the state. If you imagine that 4.5 years ago, the Samajwadi Party won the election largely on the promise of youth leadership and won its own, majority of its own. Today, they'll be lucky. There's no question of them winning the state again as of today. They'll be lucky if they come second. Third is the position that most political pundits expect they will land up in. And this is entirely Mulayam's fault.
Yeah, the problem is that Akhilesh has never been his own person, rarely, except now you see spurts of that. He's been controlled by his father, his two uncles, there is Azam Khan to contend with, there are seniors within the party. So it's obviously been a very choppy kind of journey for Akhilesh, given the pulls and pressures within the own family, his stepbrother and a very ambitious sister-in-law who wants to sort of who's desperate to come into politics. I mean, she's backed by Mulayam Singh's present wife. So he's been caught up in domestic turmoil, and I think that has hampered his work.
And Akhilesh certainly hasn't fared any better since. The law and order in the state has deteriorated. In a state that huge, there is no home minister, with the CM himself holding the portfolio. In fact, most of the portfolios are divided between Akhilesh himself, his uncle Shivpal Yadav, and one-time faithful Azam Khan. With approximately 1 crore unemployed youth in the state, maintaining law and order is not easy. It doesn't help Akhilesh that his own party men are accused of Gunda Raj, such as the instance of SP workers firing in the open air to celebrate the victory of a SP candidate. The Muzaffarnagar riots, the alleged rape and murder of 2 girls in Badaयूं, and Mohammad Akhlaq's gruesome murder over accusations of eating beef have all led to a communally charged simmering cauldron.
There are pockets of UP, such as parts of Western UP and parts of Purvanchal, where Hindu-Muslim issues remain relevant. But for a broader UP, I don't think that's the only game in town. I don't think that's the only issue. And as Mulayam showed in or Akhilesh showed in 2012, or Mayawati showed in 2007, UP has this ability to transcend just religion and just such divides and give a sweeping mandate to a politician it believes in.
The SP has blamed the BJP for stirring the communal pot in the state, as it did recently in Kairana, when the party wrongly claimed an exodus of Hindus from the Muslim-dominated area. This has led to the Congress claiming a match-fixing between the SP and the BJP to polarize the vote bank. Whatever the motive, this is not helping the state.
BJP and SAPA, SP will continue to play communal politics. Whether there is collusion between them, it's tempting to say there is, but I don't think there is, quite frankly. But each does what they do knowing that they benefit from the other side playing its politics. So the more the BJP communalizes among Hindus, the easier it becomes for Mulayam and Akhilesh to play their communal card among Muslims and vice versa.
Oh, they love each other, the two parties. I mean, one depends on the other for its survival and growth. I mean, it's been the case from the beginning. Now, I mean, whether you call it match fixing or some kind of an underhand understanding, whatever it is, but Samajwadi's own rise owes a lot to the BJP, and the BJP too owes its rise to the Samajwadi party.
With 19.2% of the state's population Muslims, the SP could reap the benefits of the politics of polarization. The BJP knows that the Muslims will not vote for it and has made no attempt to reach out, as was evident from the recent cabinet reshuffle where Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi, the lone Muslim BJP face from the state, did not get an elevation. Instead, the party focused on rewarding Brahmin leaders from the state, but more on this later. The BSP too has not sent any reassuring messages to the Muslim community, with Mayawati being the sole state stalwart who does not even host a Roza Iftar. This leaves the Muslim voter two options, the SP or the Congress. Of the two, it seems as if the SP has the upper hand in the state. And this is one reason why the SP cannot be written off, despite its track record of misgovernance.
Unlike Bihar, Muslim votes in Uttar Pradesh rarely get consolidated towards one party, except in the election which followed the Babri Masjid demolition in 1993. That time, let's not forget that the SP and BSP were an alliance, so there was a very, very strong alternative to the BJP. Otherwise, the votes invariably get divided. Between the Samajwadi, BSP, there is Congress.
What doesn't help the SP's case, however, are the confusions within the Samajwadi party. On one side are Akhilesh Yadav and his uncle, Professor Ram Gopal Yadav, who is also known as the family intellectual, while the other side is the more earthy Shivpal Yadav, who is backed by Azam Khan, while Mulayam plays the family elder and tries to balance both sides. Akhilesh and Ram Gopal are also said to be unhappy with the return of Amar Singh and Beni Prasad Verma that was pushed by Shivpal Yadav. However, Amar Singh has made his peace with all factions. More recently, Akhilesh angered his uncle by calling off the merger with the Qawmi Ekta Dal, engineered by Shivpal and Mulayam. This has not gone down well with Shivpal at all, and the rift was apparent at Ram Gopal Yadav's 70th birthday in June this year, when Shivpal Yadav came late and was seated at the back. It took Amar Singh's political finesse to persuade him to come up front.
Yeah, there are four distinct power centers in the Samajwadi party. Three, I would say. Mulayam is kind of an independent law unto himself. There is Akhilesh and Ram Gopal. And there is Shivpal, who sided with Mulayam Singh's wife and perhaps the stepson and the daughter-in-law. Now, their own differences are going to kick in when it is time for ticket distribution. And I see all this happening as a prelude to ticket distribution, and who will have greater control over ticket distribution. Ultimately, Mulayam, being the patriarch, would have the last word.
What has also marred the optics is the high-profile birthday celebrations of Mulayam Singh Yadav, known as the Safai Maha Utsav, that is an ostentatious display of wealth and opulence, attended by big-time celebrities and small starlets. An image that is totally un-Samajwadi-like in nature, but the Yadavs are carrying on regardless, their strategy based solely on the politics of the vote bank. On the other side, working away from the limelight, away from the media glare, is Mayawati, who has been working quietly, planning a comeback. And she knows that the return is not as smooth as the pundits in Delhi are foretelling. Her Dalit vote bank is still untouched, true, but she is also worried about the rise of the BJP in the state. That all is not well was evident when a trusted lieutenant, SP Maurya, left the party recently. There was no immediate provocation for him to leave. As the leader of opposition, he had cabinet rank. Analysts point out that if he was certain of a Mayawati return, then he would have waited 6 more months and not been in a hurry to leave. And he is not the only one to leave. R.K. Chaudhary too has left. Lalji Verma, a Kurmi, is also agitating to leave. These are worrying signs for the BSP Supremo.
BSP, I've been watching the BSP for years and years. People leave the BSP routinely, and yet the elephant kind of somehow survives because of the base. So last time also Babu Singh Kushwaha had left and the BJP took him on, and he really brought disrepute to the BJP, forget gains. So I don't know what is the kind of base that Swami Prasad Maurya and R.K. Chaudhary have in their areas. R.K. Chaudhary is a Parsi from Faizabad. He's been winning elections, so he would have some of the Parsi votes. Yes, it will dent Mayawati, but perhaps not to the extent as it is being projected.
Clearly, Maurya seems to have read the writing on the wall, and it is something that is worrying Mayawati too. She knows that this election is not a cakewalk. and has activated her cadres. Local journalists find to their surprise that the BSP leader is holding a press conference every 2-3 days instead of just once a month as she used to. And as a departure from the past, they are even allowed to keep their shoes on and enter her house. Clearly, the lady in pink has other weightier matters to worry about these days. And the target of her ire is not the SP but the BJP. She has certainly identified her threat.
Mayawati is the woman to beat in UP. She is the favorite to win. If she's attacking the BJP and not the SP, then she obviously sees the BJP as a bigger threat, the BJP under Modi or the resurgent BJP as a bigger threat. Do remember when Mayawati won in 2007, she retained her 20% odd Dalit base, which is still with her and has been with her even in 2014. But she added to it large segments of the BJP's traditional voter, the urban middle class, Brahmins, the sections of the upper caste. Now, these are people who voted for Modi in a big way in 2014. If the BJP is to do well in UP in 2017, they need to retain these voters. If Mayawati is to repeat her performance of 2007, she needs to win these voters.
But Mayawati knows that this is a fight for relevance. And so, unlike other parties, she has already identified her candidates an year in advance. Also, running a one-person outfit leaves out any room for confusion. Hers is the final word, and she has already begun work on her comeback plan at least a year back. The Congress, sensing a winning horse, is hopeful of a tie-up with her, but so far the lady is not yielding.
She is well placed to repeat her performance of 2 elections back when she won a majority by herself, which is why even though the Congress may have loved to tie up with her, and she allowed speculation to happen when she backed the Congress government in Uttarakhand, using her MLAs to back the government there. But I think it's very clear that she will go by herself, and she's confident that she can take on both the Samajwadi and the BJP.
Well, which brings us to the BJP. And those who talk about the BJP's drubbing in Bihar would do well to remember one very important fact. In that state, the BJP had taken on the combined might of 2 regional parties, the RJD and the JDU. Both Lalu Yadav and Nitish Kumar combined their vote banks to take on the BJP. Now, this is hardly likely to happen in Uttar Pradesh with Mayawati and Mulayam, for they are hardly likely to come together. The BJP, sensing blood from the Lok Sabha elections, where it won 71 of the 80 seats from the state, is also focusing all its energy and expertise over here. Already, Party Chief Amit Shah has recruited 1,20,000 booth-level workers and given them ID cards and his party office number to call in case of any problem. It is a well-calibrated campaign by the BJP, with the initial focus being on West UP. Analysts point out that as soon as the NDA government came to power, party hotheads began the chant of Love Jihad, and notables like Sangeet Som and Sanjeev Balian came to the centre stage. The culmination of this was the Kairana incident. After this, the focus has shifted to East UP, with the party hosting its national executive in Allahabad recently. If the focus was on communal politics in the West, then in the East the focus is on caste politics. The promotion of Anupriya Patel, a Kurmi in the cabinet, will woo the Kurmi vote bank that is in this belt.
Apna Dal, the Anupriya faction, the merger with the BJP is interesting in the sense that she could also sort of recommend herself as a CM candidate. I mean, she's from the Kurmi community, she's young, she's educated, quite fresh. So, that possibility is also there.
The party is also focusing on the Brahmin vote by giving SP Shukla a Rajya Sabha seat and making Mehernath Pandey a minister, and also retaining Kalraj Mishra as a minister, despite his crossing the age barrier. The government's plans to withdraw minority status from the Aligarh Muslim University is also significant, for the BJP sees this 50% reservation for Muslims as a case of Muslim appeasement over the rights of scheduled castes, tribes and backwards.
I, like others, many others, including non-BJP supporters, have said this idea of a state-funded university or institution being a minority institution is something I'm not comfortable with. So there is a problem there, there's a larger issue there, even outside of the UP debate. Having said that, why just Purvanchal, which is Eastern UP? All of UP is about caste. Caste is very important. UP always has been. When Rahul Gandhi brought in Beni Prasad Verma as steel minister in the Manmohan Singh government, it wasn't because he was a great technocrat. It was because Rahul was chasing the Kurmi and OBC vote, which didn't work out eventually, but that was his plan.
I'm not sure that the strategy of communalization, while it may work in certain pockets, is going to be something that the voter of Uttar Pradesh will look kindly upon. After all, who wants to live whatever your biases may be, who wants to live in a situation of violence and tension, which is precisely what the BJP's electoral plank will create if it proceeds.
But the BJP's main problem remains the lack of a CM face. It had initially wanted to project Rajnath Singh, but the former UP CM and current Home Minister said a polite no. That shifted the focus to the second rung, of which Varun Gandhi was the clear favourite amongst party workers. But therein lies the rub. Having made dynasty such an issue and campaigning against the Gandhis, the BJP could not now look at a member of the same dynasty to be its saviour. Others like Smriti Irani and Yogi Adityanath were seen as lightweights, who could at best influence pockets and not the entire state. Moreover, Irani has already been pitted against Mayawati and didn't come out too well when the two clashed in the Rajya Sabha recently.
You see, Rajnath Singh has the capacity to carry the upper caste of Uttar Pradesh, which is wavering today, as well as the traditional Hindutva voter of the party. But there's no way he's going to go back to the state. Smriti Irani, my sense is that she is too lightweight and will not lead to the party being united behind her. Varun Gandhi, I believe the party's own surveys show would be a strong contender and acceptable face, but I think his positioning today is not something that the BJP High Command would be comfortable with. Besides, he is a Gandhi, and the allegation would be that aap Gandhi ke balboote pe jeetna chahte ho. So when you want a Congress Mukt or a Gandhi Mukt Bharat, as Mr. Amit Shah has said, having Varun Gandhi as your face doesn't work. So I would say he's ruled out. Yogi Adityanath, I think they would be crazy to project somebody like him as a CM candidate. And you don't need to do that in order to communalize the campaign. Adityanath will quite happily communalize for you without being your CM candidate. So I think that this is a dilemma for the BJP. They don't have a strong and obvious face. They may well then decide to fight the election on the basis of Mr. Modi's chehra, whether that proves alluring enough, particularly when you have the experience of Mayawati having delivered a pretty good government for 5 years when she was PM with the majority, when she was CM with the majority of her own. I think this is a challenge for the BJP.
After Rajnath Singh moved out of UP into national politics, there is no comparable face in UP. Kalraj Mishra is, he's a Brahmin face, not a mass leader, but anyway, he's too old. Kalyan Singh is now too old, he's a governor. There are a number of 40 and 50 somethings who are too young to be projected on a pan-UP basis yet. Maybe in the coming 10 years they will. So there is the BJP does have a problem. But I think in the end they will try and find a face. It may not be the best face, but they will try to find a face.
The grand plan for now seems to be to divide UP into 6 zones and make a regional leader in charge of each zone. Then, depending upon performance, the party could identify a leader or a CM face if the need arose.
Well, we need to take a short break, but when we come back, we're going to continue taking a look at Battleground UP with a special focus on the Congress campaign, such as it is. Welcome back to Cover Story, where we're taking a look at Battleground UP. Elections are just 6 months away, but the posturing and planning has already begun.
The Congress task is the most uphill. Like the BJP, it lacks a strong local face. And unlike the BJP, it doesn't have a strong central face either. The party is toying with either parroting Sheila Dikshit as its best local face, counting on her Brahmin credentials, her record as a 3-time Delhi Chief Minister, and also the fact that she was married in Uttar Pradesh. There is also a plan to have Priyanka Gandhi campaigning beyond the family bastions of Amethi and Raebareli, but the party is divided as to whether to call her the chief campaigner or not. And there seems to be no third choice. The Congress also lacks a PCC chief, and this could be a good time to groom its next-gen leader in the state.
The Congress party's fatal flaw is that the families hold over the party and over political affairs ain't what it used to be in the time of Indira Gandhi, but they don't want to shed Indira Gandhi's approach of cutting regional leaders down to size. So the Congress could have got away with that kind of an approach when you had somebody like Indira Gandhi with her political chops and her ability to carry everybody along. Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, and certainly Priyanka Gandhi cannot do that.
Sheila Dikshit was MP from Kannauj in '84, which is what, 32 years ago. She's pushing 80 now, she's 79 or 78. With due respects, I can't see her becoming a face across UP, much as the Congress may believe that is possible. And I think it would be unfair to Sheila Dikshit to expect her to work a miracle in UP. In terms of Priyanka Gandhi, if she comes in, she does galvanize a section of the Congress base, but she also brings with her baggage, and we all know what that is. So, second, we are presuming that Rahul Gandhi has political shortcomings that will be made up by Priyanka Gandhi. Now, we don't know. She may have the same shortcomings. We don't know anything about her. So, so far she's focused only on Amethi and Raebareli, where she's done well when her family has done well in the Lok Sabha elections. But in the assembly elections, where local factors take over, even the Gandhi family magic has not worked. So, assembly elections in UP are a very different ballgame. If Mr. Modi, who is the most popular man in India today, or most popular politician in India today, is uncertain of how local factors in UP will work in an assembly election, how can we be certain about Priyanka?
Before we end, here's a look at the current party positions in the state. Recall that during the 2012 assembly elections, Rahul Gandhi was the face of the Congress campaign. And here is a look at the picture in the Lok Sabha elections that followed 2 years later and were fought under the Modi wave.
Although elections are still 6 months away, due in early 2017, the planning, posturing and strategizing for this crucial state has already begun. We intend to keep a close eye on this, but from now, that's all from us this week. Thank you for watching this edition of Cover Story. We'll see you again, same time next week.